morning, everybody. So yesterday I talked about the SysOps exam and how to extract the domains for the SysOps exam. Again, everything ties into the solutions architect, and then I jumped into SysOps, and today I'm going to look at the developer associate. So if you haven't looked at the previous two videos, I'm going to link them down here, and of course look at those before you start watching this video. All right, so first thing we do is we go to AWS certification, then open the associate certified developer description, and we click the exam guide so that we get the exam guide out of here. So this one is the most sort of comprehensive as far as the recommended knowledge. Again, one or more years of experience, in-depth knowledge of one programming language. Python, Java, C#, .NET, Go, Ruby, JavaScript, pick one. It doesn't matter. As long as you have a high-level programming language and you know how to develop applications, right? Understand core services, core AWS services, right? So take a look at my architecting exam overview and look at what the core services are, right? You go to the management console. Core services are EC2, core services Elastic Beanstalk, S3, core services is EBS, EFS, Glacier, RDS databases, DynamoDB. So those will sort of be covered under core services. What else do we have? Their uses, basic architectures and best practices, right? So definitely aws.amazon.com, and I'm going for the wrong link. Architectures here. Architecture. This website definitely crucial for that understanding. I wouldn't really talk about the well-architected framework, and I wouldn't take a look at well-architected framework as far as the exam questions are concerned, but as far as the designing your application and how to build your application in a reliable, secure, and scalable way, the well-architected framework is really good. Otherwise, architecture resources, white papers, and reference diagrams definitely are a good option. You've got links here to all reference diagrams. So if you click reference material, architecture diagrams, you got a ton of material that you can study from, right? Those are definitely going to be crucial for a developer to understand the architectures and the diagrams. All right, next, proficiency in debugging, deploying cloud-based applications using AWS. What does that mean? Well, that means you'll be already working with AWS and already working with services that are related to you as a developer, right? So what kind of services would you use to deploy and debug? Well, first it's the code services, code commit to store your code. It's a private Git compatible repository in AWS Cloud. A code build to build your code, to build your artifacts from your code, and then code deploy to deploy those artifacts to operating system. Code pipeline to orchestrate. Code star, not really in the exam itself, but good to know that it exists. And of course, Cloud9, the IDE that you can use in the cloud. In one of my future videos, I'm going to give you a good overview of Cloud9, which is something to look forward to. All right, what about debugging for your applications? Well, CloudWatch is always a good tool to debug. You get the metrics, you get the logs, right? And then another tool is X-Ray. Analyze and debug your applications, right? Make sure you have CloudWatch down to a T. Make sure you understand X-Ray. You can also do this, debug, right? Debugging tools, and it shows you code build as the build, Cloud9 as the debugging code, and X-Ray as debugging your applications, right? So that's something that you need to know here to cover that one. Ability to use the APIs, the CLIs, and SDKs. If nothing else, you should start with the CLI. So definitely amazon.com/CLI. That's a really, really good resource for you to start with. Crucial to get an understanding of CLI, crucial to know how to install the CLI. You're going to have questions about CLI in the developer exam. You're going to also have potentially snippets of code that will be presented to you, and you'll need to understand what that snippet of code means. What else do we have? Key features of AWS services. So again, having a high-level understanding of AWS services is definitely not required here. We got to just make sure that we have a baseline coverage of knowing what these services do. Understanding the shared responsibility model. So how do we share our applications with the provider? Which services the provider is responsible for? Which services is the developer responsible for? Lifecycle management, right? Lifecycle management of your application, again, could be tied into CI/CD practices. And of course, CI/CD pipeline. Here is where code pipeline is a crucial service to understand. Ability to interact with AWS services, that's going to be understanding when to use the CLI, when to use the SDKs, and when to use the command line. Basic understanding of cloud native applications. Here is going to be a deep dive into Lambda, how to use the Lambda functions, how to write for Lambda, how to use Lambda layers, how to invoke Lambda functions, what is a push invocation and what is a pull invocation, right? What is a synchronous invocation? What is an asynchronous invocation? How to use API gateway with Lambda to invoke Lambda from API gateway. And of course, then security, right? Security best practices. Take a look at the services that are tied to security. Like I said in my previous video, where I went through all these security and identity services, definitely those same security services apply to the developer exam. Ability to author, maintain, and debug code modules on AWS. Again, code deploy, code commit, code build, right? A proficiency writing code for serverless. You need to understand how to use the handler in Lambda functions and how to output data out of a Lambda, for example. You need to understand that Lambda code is native code. It's not compiled. There is an interpreter in the actual Lambda functions, so that's something to think about. And containers, right? There is going to be a lot of emphasis on ECS, EKS, how to use the container registry, how to deploy containers with Docker. They will actually give you questions about Docker in the developer exam. So that's something to know. That's something to understand in here. And again, I don't have my book with me. I do have a associate developer book coming out end of this month, end of May 2020. It's delayed because of the coronavirus. Otherwise, I would have shown you the actual physical book itself. I'm going to give you the link to where to get the book. To me, it's the best book I've ever wrote. It's got over 2,000 lines of code. It's got a ton of CLI code examples, code in Python, in Java, in .NET. There's some code in JavaScript. There's some Node.js code. So basically, a lot of different examples on how to manage your infrastructure efficiently. It covers all the domains, all the services that you need. So that's a good option. But of course, as I said, all of the information that I have in my book is public information. So you can grab that off of the white papers, grab that off of the frequently asked questions for each service. And that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Another short video, just an update to the previous video, where I will put the link in here down below to the video. And of course, thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to support my channel. I'm not monetizing this channel. I just want you to have this content without any commercial breaks, because I don't really prefer them. So basically what I want you to do is, if you want to support my channel, give me a like, write a comment down below, and of course subscribe to my channel, share it on your profiles. If you need to talk to me directly, always welcome to hit me up on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn link is down below. And of course, if you want to support my channel further, buy my books, and of course use the affiliate links for the example questions that are down below. If there's something missing, please get in touch with me and I'll find you the right link. Don't hesitate to ask. All right, thank you very much. and I will see you in my next video. Bye.